What's going on, gamers? Welcome to another week of The Retro Gamers, episode 79. Larry here.
And Anthony here.
What's happening, Ant?
I don't know what's happening with you.
I got a new mic, so this is the first show of testing this out.
Okay, so
probably why I sound very loud.
So I got a new mic last week, and you had to show me up and get a mic of your own.
Yes and no. Yes.
No, yes.
It was due
That's
for
okay. Thank you.
And a lot of people are probably going to hear, because I'm still trying to tweak this, so I apologize in advance if you hear a lot of like the booms and the whatevers. But I needed a new mic anyway. The one I had was just starting to crud out on me. I had that one for a long time.
Okay.
The old,
sure. We'll go with that story.
The iRig mic. You will always forever be my first podcast mic.
So since you're in a place where you want to, try and get something better, when I buy something, this is my LA Marathon medal from last year.
I like that.
So yes, so if you want to one up me, feel free to do this.
Oh, you can quite enjoy that by yourself. I have no problem you having that on your own. I don't care if I was in shape. I don't want to run for nothing.
No, that's okay. That trust me, that was my first and last marathon. So says my arthritis.
I got to admit though, running those marathons are worth it for those medals. A friend of mine, actually, she lives up in I think she lives up in Toronto. Actually, she's always running these marathons, and it's just like some of the way the medals look. They almost look like better medals than you would get in like Mario Kart or something like that.
Yeah. No, and yeah, they're really cool. And to be honest, I miss running. I mean, that was the last run I officially did, okay. Because that was also the run that destroyed my knee.
Oh, there you go. People, it's not worth it sometimes being healthy because you start to break down.
Well, not being healthy makes you break down in a different way. I'd rather break down trying to be healthy than breaking down by, purposely destroying my innards.
You know what? To each their own.
That is, that is very true. But no, I miss running. I've been rehabbing my knee now for a better part of 7 or 8 months. So I do have a run. I do have a run that I signed up for that's coming up in 2 weeks.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is the Pasadena Awesome 80s run.
That sounds tremendous.
Yeah, so that'll be fun, and it's a small one. It's 3 or 6 miles, depending on which one you want to do. So I'm gonna give it a shot and see if I survive.
All right, cool. Well, good luck. Good luck with that.
I know. I want that Awesome 80s medal.
And let me give a shout out real quick, as I mentioned her, Tara up in Toronto with all of her marathons as well, and to everyone, your buddy as well, who's running marathons. Yep.
Yeah, he completed the New York City Marathon last year. I'm very, very happy and proud of him, and I also will thank him for. It's his fault now that I am getting back into comic book collecting.
And, I barely was able to finish marathons on the power pad, let alone trying to run one in real life. So.
Oh, who are you kidding? You never tried a marathon on the power pad.
This is very true. You get on your knees and just kind of slap it. That sounds terrible, but everyone knows what I mean if you've had the power pad.
That's right. Just remember, if you have the power pad, to get on your knees and slap it.
That's what I try and do.
Okay. Let's move on from that, please.
So here's what we have today. Actually, I have a couple things, actually, this morning. I was up early because I went to bed. Just my sleep pattern's been completely off all week. And so I was up real early this morning, so I figured, let me hop on. Let me do kind of an early morning live stream. We're recording on Saturday, the 10th. Mm-hmm. And so I hopped on, and I played this game that I started playing a game on. It's an amazing hack of Contra. It's called Contra: Revenge of the Red Falcon. I've talked about it before. Just an extremely difficult version of Contra. And as Link is making an appearance here on Skype. Link, do you want to say anything? Meow. There you go. He's like, how dare you mimic me? And he ran away. Now we have to pay him royalties. So,
that's all right. I have treats.
So finally, after all these weeks of talking about it, I finally got my own copy and I played it. Now, before I get into the gameplay, which is up on Facebook.com/RetroGamersPodcast, will soon be up on my YouTube page until we're able to merge it over to a Retro Gamers page, which we're going to work on soon. a dedicated Retro Gamers YouTube page. I just want to say this, and I love both these companies, and we've talked about it in the past ad nauseum, but there's definitely now, I can tell the difference between a Hyperkin and the Retrobit. The Hyperkin Retron HD, which plays the NES games, and the Retrobit, I always get it wrong,
Super Trio?
Yeah, Super Plus. Retro Trio Plus, which plays the NES, SNES, and Genesis. When I put the game in, and someone commented on it, actually said they liked it that way, but when I put Contra Revenge of the Red Falcon, I had to use the Hyperkin, which I rebought the Hyperkin. And trust me, if anyone knows me, you know apparently I never make smart purchases because I bought the system. It broke, I'll buy it again. So I played.
Did you buy the original one off Amazon?
Hyperkin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You should have told them it was broken. They would have replaced it.
I know, but I'd already had that other one for so long. Plus, in a fit of rage, I threw it out. So,
of course you did.
I hooked it up because what happens is I'm going to do a more in-depth review later, which I'll post a video on Facebook. But kind of the biggest thing about the Retrobit that I'm not really crazy about is the system. You can't output in 4:3 ratio. It only outputs in 16:9. Now, look, don't get me wrong. On your television, you just set it to 4:3, problem solved. No big deal. Right. But I found, actually very quickly, the smaller television I use to stream that's closer to my computer, for some reason, doesn't have a 4:3 aspect ratio on it. Like, I can't get it to shrink down. It's a cheap television. Purposely, I bought it cheap because it's just using every now and again. So that's why when I streamed Turtles 3, it was stretched out, which bugged me. So I figured I'd buy the Hyperkin, because that you can output in 16:9 or 4:3. So I did it in 4:3, but the gameplay and the music is definitely slowed down, and I didn't notice it until I played Contra on the Retron, then on the Retrobit. It was very weird.
If that's the case, you just got the new Retron, right?
Yeah.
Return it.
No. I'm still gonna use it because I can use it to stream. I can deal with it accordingly if I didn't realize it. Because some of the other, maybe it's also because it was a hack. Could have been a little bit slowed down because of that.
It's possible. I would test it more, but like I said, if all the games are slowed down and the music is affected and whatnot, then I honestly don't think it would necessarily be worth it. If anything, you may be better off getting a Retron with the AV input. It may not have that problem.
And then I won't. Well, then it's going to be a hump to stream, but I'll deal with that later. But in any event, and then when I tested Contra in the Retrobit, it played like Contra. I was like, whoa, this is a difference. But it was funny because when I was playing it on the Hyperkin, someone actually said, ooh, slowed down music. I like it. like they thought it was part of the hack.
Well, then, if that person's listening to our podcast, yes, that was completely intentional.
What?
We hope you enjoyed it.
So anyway, I finally played it. You got to see how just difficult the game can be. This Revenge of the Red Falcon. I mean, the levels are extended; they're longer than normal. I mean, and the outlays of the games are different of the levels. The villains, the enemies, are just undaunting when it comes to how many they are and how many are on the screen and how many shooting at the same time.
Right, they're daunting. They're not undaunting.
No.
Undaunting isn't a word.
No, well, it is now.
No. My job is to make words, not you.
I like that.
Don't take my job away.
So, as I played through the game, I pretty much had to use all the continues. I got to the third level though. I'm very impressed with myself. I got to the third level, which on this game is ridiculous. But I want to talk about the second level real quick. And we all know the second level in Contra, right?
Yes,
we're all aware of it.
It's the how do you
It's the
it's the vertical or forward motion.
Kind of, sort of.
Yes.
So, you have to hit the targets. Again, just unrelentless. Relentless? Enemies?
It's relentless.
All right, I guess we just use that thing. Like there's one part on that level 2 where there's, and the enemies who lob the grenades at you?
Mm-hmm.
Like 7 of them come out at a time.
Oh wow!
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And of course, the targets are in different spots than the game we're used to. And then you get to the last part right before the enemy. You know, that kind of transformer looking enemy there. And what happens is you get the 3. Like first you get, and it's a blank wall. You're like, what is this? It's a completely blank wall. And then one target just appears. Like, okay, I got to get to that target. You destroy that target, then another one appears. Like, oh, okay. So 3 of them appear, so you figure, all right, now it's over. I destroy all 3, and nothing happens. I'm like, what's happening? Then they reappear. You got to go through like 8 or 9 of them. And again, just these enemies are just coming at you nonstop. I enjoyed it. It was really, really cool.
All right, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. Now you just need to beat it.
Eventually, I gotta definitely. That's a game I gotta work at slowly but surely.
Yes, the same way that I will be working at the Legend of Zelda one that you sent me.
Yes, and actually, speaking of which, that went in the mail today.
Oh, I guess that means that I should probably mail your book.
Whenever.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
So check it out. Check out the live stream. And check out all the live streams. Anthony's been playing Super Mario 64, slowly but surely, getting his way to at least to beat the story mode. I mean, he's working his way to 120 stars, but I don't think you're not at... Yeah, I don't think you're Bowser yet, right?
Well, I cleared my last stream. I cleared at 53 stars.
That's right. Yeah.
And it did say that it opened another level, and I thought the next one you fight Bowser 3 times, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm at the part where I can beat Bowser and finish story mode.
Oh, okay. I thought it was at 60 stars. Okay.
I thought it was at 62, but it opened up at 50. So I didn't remember.
Fair enough.
So yeah, no, I'm making some good headway, and it was funny because for some odd reason, like this week, I decided I wanted to try and have a live stream on our page every day. So I started on Monday, I think,
yeah, you
or
did.
Sunday. Yeah, I started on Monday.
No, Sunday.
And
didn't you start Sunday with the Super Bowl?
No, I didn't get a chance to play on Sunday because I actually went to a Super Bowl party. I gave in and I went, but maybe I played something in the morning. I don't exactly remember, But yeah, so I started playing. I did some Mario. I did a bunch of Mario 64 this week, which is cool because I'm already up to 53 stars. But then I played some Tecmo Super Bowl, in honor of the Super Bowl, and that was really cool.
Cool. Yeah, that was a good play, actually.
Oh yeah, if I remember correctly, my New York Giants spanked the San Francisco 49ers, which was nice. And let's see what else, and then. I think that's all I played this week. I think it was that and Mario 64. And then you played something on Thursday, if I'm not mistaken.
I played... What did
you played
Turtles 3.
You played Turtles 3, and then this morning...
Actually.
Yeah, so yesterday was actually the only day, or I should say Friday was the only day we did not stream. And it was actually kind of fun to go on and stream almost every day.
Yeah, right? No, that definitely gave us a... it was entertaining. It was fun. And we got a lot of games out there. And a lot of hits, and we appreciate everyone who's watching. Whenever you see the live stream, take a couple seconds, hit that share button, let the world know.
And we also appreciate interacting with you guys. And that's always cool. Although for those who do watch my streaming, I do them silently. I don't talk while I play.
Oh, I've been doing that. I've been doing silent, only because again I haven't really tested out the mic yet. So.
Yeah, and I've noticed that when I tried using the mic, there's some kind of, I don't know what goes on, but there's some kind of reverb that I have to figure out. So, but to be honest with you, I think it's cooler to just, here's the game, watch us playing the game, and we're all good. And the comments section, when I play, Larry, I know you try to jump on the stream so you can deal with the comment section, and I try and do the same when you do it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that works out really nicely.
It does. We got that teamwork happening. So I guess as we should.
There is no I in team.
No, but there is an M and an E.
There is. And let's face it, it's all about ME.
Hey, there you go. I like it. Yeah, your streams, you definitely like that silent stream, if you will. Again, the no talking. It's almost it's kind of like reminiscent. I always call it ASMR gameplay that you like to do.
Yes.
Where just you sit there and you just enjoy the sights and the sound of the game. Not necessarily maybe the the inputter of the game.
The commentary, correct. Yes.
And this whole ASMR thing, you know, I don't even think, I think I mentioned it to you when I first said ASMR. I don't think, you never heard of it before that, right?
No, ASMR was a completely foreign thing to me, and needless to say, when you told me about it, I was like, no, I'm not familiar with this at all. And then when you showed it to me, it kind of rang a bell, because I'm like, it's kind of like some of the things you play. Like, in other words, it's like if you have trouble sleeping and you want to play like ambient sounds or things like that, which I've definitely done in my life because I don't sleep well. Mm-hmm. Case in point, I woke up at 5:30 this morning, and it's Saturday.
Welcome to my world.
But yeah, well, it's my everyday. Well, my everyday is 4, but anyway. But yeah, so like the whole ambient sound thing and whatnot, like it's really interesting because of the reaction your body has to those things, and it's not something you're consciously doing. It's it's just I don't know if it's instinctual or whatever it is. It's like, but your body just has this natural reaction to certain sounds. And you had introduced me a couple of weeks ago to the idea of ASMR with video games, which I had no idea about.
Yeah, I discovered these ASMR videos a couple years ago, and they can be anything from just noises to visuals, and I've seen everything from pretending to be at a barber shop to buying at a candy store or something. And one of my favorites to follow, and definitely gonna give her a plug, she's called ASMR Requests on YouTube. And she's done like role plays and some other throwback tingles, because these feelings you get, they're called tingles. Like, you ever get that feeling in your head, like not a pain, just like a tingling feeling when you see something that you like. And that's what causes this. And supposedly, nothing's proven, but supposedly just makes you, I don't know, like gives off endorphins or something. I don't know. But the one video I love that we're actually going to play here in a moment is this one where she actually talks about, and she actually gives some good history on The Legend of Zelda. And we jumped ahead a little bit. Now, this is also a bit of a visual, so we'll put the link up on the Facebook page, because definitely check out, it's like a, 25-minute video?
It's a 43-minute video.
Excuse me. I'm sorry. Okay, so 43-minute video. And not only when you watch it on your own, not only will you listen to it, and it's best to listen to any ASMR video with headphones. That's the best way to listen to it. But it's also here, she's going to talk about, and she's not going to explain it, but she's going to she's holding up the gold NES cartridge. We'll play it real quick. We'll play some of it, and then we'll kind of explain it. I don't want to do too much talking, because I want you to experience it. So, Ant, you got the thing? Hit play. Okay, I thought she was talking, so we'll talk over it. But basically, and you talk low. This is ASMR. So right now, she has the cartridge in her hand.
The original Legend of Zelda.
There she is.
There was Legend of Zelda 2, or Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link. That game was not super well received.
She's tracing the letters with her finger.
For some reason, instead of the top-down perspective.
And she's running her hands over the cartridge, her fingers.
He went back top-down. So I'm not sure why it was made a side-scroller. But I think a lot of people didn't love it for that reason.
See, that gets me right there, Ant, the whole tracing.
Yes, it was considered a bit of a fail. But it was also released in a gold cartridge.
All right, so I didn't want to go too quiet. I didn't realize she didn't do a lot of talking in the beginning. But that's and there's a lot more to it. She was tracing with her fingers. She was running her fingers over, like I said, over the cartridge, and you heard the noise. I used to fall asleep to this.
Well, yeah, I think that's the purpose. The tingles that you get, it's an endorphin rush, but it's also it's like a very relaxing feeling as well. It's just like a calming and soothing feeling. Like I said, it's the same way you would listen to like any other type of ambient sounds. But I don't know what the studies are behind something like this, and the fact that this person, this person here figured out using like video games video games and other things. Like I see, like if you go to her page, she's got all these other things like Pokemon and Star Wars and Nirvana and Legos.
Yeah, she was doing as you can see, they call it Time Travel Tuesday. One of the things she did was she would just, I think, like, people would vote the week before on what they wanted her to research and talk about, and she would go out, buy something at like a thrift store, just at like a thrift store one, which is another one of my favorites, and then she would do research. And I mean, for 43 minutes, and I don't think she's a gamer. When you go back and listen to it, she does. I mean, she talks a lot about Zelda and the history of Zelda and Miyamoto and how he came up with it by doing his own adventures in the backyard or whatever.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, clearly she's not just doing like one thing. She's she's doing her research and she's and covering it, but she adds it into the whole ASMR experience with the soft voice and all of that stuff. So it's really interesting, and I definitely recommend it to anybody who's listening. It's like, just go on YouTube and look up ASMR. If you want to look her up, it's ASMR Requests, and she does some video game stuff. Definitely, yeah, but it's really interesting, and yet another strange, unique way to experience retro video games in a way.
And another fun
in the real world.
No, absolutely. And if you want to listen to another one, it's only about a half hour. No, I think it was longer than that. He must have cut it. The Angry Video Game Nerd did his own ASMR relaxation. It's hysterical. He talks like every, 10, 15 minutes. And he just does his, we're a bit of a PG show, so I can't repeat too much, but just what he says, some of it is just it's just him sitting there, Indian style, with a grimace on his face, like, as only the angry video game nerd can. It was funny to listen to, because especially like when he just starts talking out of nowhere when you're trying to fall asleep.
Well, I'm assuming he does that on purpose.
Of course, absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. It's all in camera.
Yeah, just when you're getting quiet and calm, he wakes you up.
So definitely check out, not just game related, definitely check out a lot of this ASMR. If you always feel kind of either, like Anthony said, having trouble going to sleep, or maybe always kind of feeling on edge, or you're all wound up and you want to calm yourself down a little bit, just do a search for these. They have not only these type of videos as ASMR I watch constantly. I used to watch, it's the weirdest thing. And look, I know it may have sounded a little like more than what it is, saying her fingers are running across the cartridge. All it is just her, along the spine to get that clicking sound because of her nails. There's another one I used to watch all the time. It was a cranial nerve exam with Pat LaFontaine from The Islanders.
Oh, boy.
It's like, it had to have been, I don't know, maybe late 90s, early 2000s. And it's just a doctor just doing this exam on him. It's like a 10-minute video. I just don't know why. It's enthralling to watch. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, we can't explain why we enjoy the things that we enjoy. It's just it is what it is. We're all human, and we have things that we like. And for us, it's retro video games. And apparently, women who run their fingernails along retro video game cartridges.
That's just one video. How dare you? It's just one video.
But moving on.
So check it out.
Yeah, definitely check that out. But switching gears a little bit here as we move away from the fondling of cartridges to the celebration.
Don't
of
make
cartridge.
it dirty. Okay. Yes. What do we got happening? We have a birthday, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We have a very special birthday. It's not a monumental one. It's almost a monumental one, but we are celebrating the 19th birthday of the Mario Party series.
Nice. Wow, 19 years. You know what's even worse than that? It just dawns on me, I've been out of college almost 19 years then. Holy cow.
Wow.
That got me.
And you know what's great, interesting to me is that I was still in college 19 years ago.
I thought you were going to say that interesting was I even graduated, which, yes, was a major, major accomplishment and very close to not happening.
Well, yes, and we are thankful that you graduated and have your degree. I on the other, in 1999, I on the other hand was on my way to was it degree number, was it 1 or 2? No, it was just number 1.
It had to be number 1 because I was actually a freshman in '99, freshman sophomore.
Yes.
So.
Okay, so you didn't finish in '99.
No, but I'm just saying it's been a while. But Mario Party.
Party.
Yeah,
yes.
and Mario Kart. But Mario Party definitely got me through college. You know what I mean? It got me through game, with...
Mario Party got most of us through college. Mario Party got me,
It did, yeah.
Yeah, Mario Party got me through, like, my sanity. So
No, that's what it was. Kind of like these little parties in the dorm room. It would be Mario Party, GoldenEye, and Pokemon Puzzle League. Those were the three big ones.
Yeah, and Mario Party for me was more. It wasn't necessarily more that I didn't dorm, so
Okay.
that wasn't a thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
So Mario Party for me was more of a party game. I played it at home with friends and family.
Okay.
And I remember specifically because my younger sister at the time, her friends used to come over all the time, and all we did was sit there and play Mario Party nonstop. It was just insane.
Awesome.
And just the concept of it, a board game with mini games involved in it. It was just so clever. And leave it to Nintendo to come up with something like this. The same way it wasn't too long ago that we were talking about how, they invented the whole go-kart industry in video games with Mario Kart. Well, Mario Party basically introduced and made popular the whole idea of these, like a mini game centric game, where it's not about a big overarching adventure or story. It's just, playing these, short games, and being competitive with friends, and playing with friends. It was just, it's the, as the title says, it's the ultimate party game.
No,
anybody
really,
can pick it up. Anybody can pick it up and play.
No, you're exactly right. It's funny. It's, you say it's a great game to play with friends. It's also a great game to lose friends over because it got very, very competitive at times.
It definitely did. I mean, I think I strained more relationships with WWF No Mercy than I did with Mario Party. There were
some rough evenings, yeah.
Oh, there definitely were. There were some rough evenings and some busted controllers. But with Mario Party, it was always the competitive nature comes out because you want to win, and there were some games that were just, some of the mini games in there were particularly brutal. Like I'm trying to remember the name of it. It was the one where you were standing on top of the giant ball, and the object, you were all on an island, and you were running on a ball, and the object was to bump into your opponents and knock them off the island. And I just remember that one being a blast.
Yeah, that one. That was a rough one. It's weird because there's been so many. What are we up to? Mario Party like 11 or 12, maybe.
I don't know that I think we're at. I think we're 10.
10 numbered, but then there was Mario Party Advance, Mario Party DS as well.
Right.
There was even
there's
full board game.
Right, and now there's a top 100 Mario Party.
That's what I want to talk about on 3DS, where it's for the first time we have 100 mini games from across all the Mario parties on 3DS. I do want to get my hands on that. That looks like a fun one.
Yep,
it's just pure.
Definitely.
I think all it is mini games. That's it. I don't think it's the actual.
Which is great because that's the whole fun of the Mario Party series. Now, granted, the board game, the theme boards that you played on, because it basically was a large board game, and then after every round, after everybody went once, you played a mini game. Mm-hmm. But the real fun in it was in the mini games, because there was another mode in Mario Party, I don't know if you remember, where you could just play the mini games against each other, and you would select like a certain number of mini games, and then you guys just play it. You just played them back to back.
I do think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, as opposed to playing the board games. And to me, like, I always found that more fun too. The board games were cool if you wanted to play a longer version, but it was just, to me, more fun to play the mini games. It was all about the mini games.
Oh, absolutely. That is the gameplay.
Yeah. And the other interesting thing about the Mario Party series, at least with some of the earlier ones, is they're actually they're increasing in value pretty quickly.
Really?
So yeah, like Mario Party 1, I feel like is the most common one. Like in terms of like it was super popular, made a ton of them, but I noticed that Mario Party like 2 and 3 on the N64, they go for a good amount of money.
Wow.
Like they're, when I say good amount of money, like they go at least for, loose. Like if you have the cartridge only, Like, I think they go for the price of what you paid for them when they first came out.
Really?
So like $60.
Wow.
Well, because I think what happened is, as the sequels were coming out, next-gen systems were starting to come out. We were starting to see the Dreamcast, and then the PlayStation 2 was right around the corner. So, as we all know, as a console comes near the end of its cycle, the games that get released don't sell as well because everybody's moving on to the next console.
Exactly.
And I feel like by the time they got to Mario Party 3, which was the last one on the N64, people had already moved on, so it didn't sell as well. And because of that, it's a rare, it's a hotter commodity. It's rare, it's more rare than other Mario Party games.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with, I think it's the same with the Mario Party games on GameCube, because the GameCube wasn't an overall success. If you look at Mario Party on the GameCube, I think 4, 5, and 6 came out on the GameCube, if I'm not mistaken, and maybe 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Sounds about right.
But they're also a little more costly because not as many were made and sold.
True.
So it's interesting, but again, Mario Party games were definitely like super fun to play. I'm looking forward to I hope that the top 100 comes out on the Switch Virtual Console so that I can play it, because I don't have a 3DS and I'm not, like I said, I'm not big on the really smaller handheld games. Although I've been thinking about getting a 2DS just for the hell of it.
If you get a 2DS, get the clamshell 2DS, because I finally saw and played for the first time the original 2DS, which was like just a flat, always open. Those screens are tiny. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely would want one with the bigger screens. Yeah. And I have work travel coming up, so I will need entertainment.
Very good.
I will definitely need entertainment. And, my Switch will provide some of that, but since I've now completed Mario Odyssey all the way to the end, and now that as of 3 days ago, I have completed every DLC for Breath of the Wild. So that's completely done.
Wow.
Yeah, that's all done.
All right, cool.
So like those two games completely done. I need some new stuff. I need some new traveling stuff. So I gotta look up some stuff, and picking up a 2DS and maybe some Mario Party would be a blast.
Absolutely.
But so anybody out there, if you haven't played a Mario Party game, grab a few friends, pick up a copy for whatever system you have from basically N64 or on, because there's a Mario Party on those. It's like, pick one up, play it with your friends. You definitely will not regret it. It's a lot of fun, and happy 19th birthday to Mario Party. All right, Larry, it's time for this week's Did You Know? Since we are celebrating the 19th anniversary of Mario Party, I thought we would do a Did You Know for Mario Party.
All right, so what we got?
Yes, and this may be something you actually do know, but I don't know if our listeners know this. But did you know that in the original Mario Party on N64, there were certain mini games that required players to rotate the controller's analog stick? So I don't know if you remember, there was one challenge where you had to wind up a Shy Guy or Fly Guy so he can go down the track, and whoever got the farthest won.
Yep.
And the way that you wound them up was you rotated the analog stick. Well, some players found out that you can actually rotate the analog stick faster by using the palm of your hand instead of the tips of your fingers.
So much faster. Ooh.
Yes, and I remember discovering this little gem. But what happened when you would do that is you would actually start to cut your skin in the center of your palm, which would usually wind up in blisters.
I may still have a scar. I don't know.
Yes. So, and this problem continued in Mario Party 2, because in Mario Party 2 there were also games where you had to rotate the stick.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So what happened then was there was a complaint filed by the New York Attorney General's office by Attorney General Elliot Spitzer about parents complaining that children were suffering cuts and punctures and blisters and friction burns on their hands from rotating the analog stick with their palms. So Nintendo's response to this was they created gloves that they would give to anybody who purchased Mario Party 1 or 2 so that they wouldn't have to endure the blisters or friction burns that they caused.
Yes.
Now, moving on to Mario Party, like after the Mario Party 2 game came out, they stopped making games that involved you rotating the analog stick for a while. There was one mini game in Mario Party 5 where you had to do it, but you didn't have to use the palm of your hand for the analog stick. And then eventually, when you got to the later versions of the game, they fixed the analog sticks on their system. So like on the 3DS and stuff like that, you can't use the palm of your hand on analog sticks. So that problem has now been solved. But way back when, we were talking about physical injuries to children thanks to the Mario Party video games. And that is this week's Did You Know?
All right, so we're back here, and I think we have, off mic here, we've been kind of going back and forth. What kind of segment this is going to be?
Well, it's funny, too, because I was going back and forth on it as well, because I was trying to find a wacky retro game for this week to do for a mini segment. And I came across a game, and then as I was reading it, because it's listed as one of the most bizarre games ever and craziest game ever, so I was like, oh, it's perfect for a wacky retro. But then as I was reading it, I'm like, oh, no. I was like, there's far too much information that I want to share about this. So I decided it was not going to be a mini segment. But then I was trying to decide whether this was going to be a retro spotlight or a retro reject, because the game got decent reviews.
Which shocks me.
Which makes me want it to be a spotlight. But at the same time, listening to the absurdity of this game, I want to call it a retro reject. So we will let the listeners decide what they think. So, and you and I can decide whether we think it's a spotlight or a reject. So anyway, this week's retro spotlight / reject
retro something
retro something goes to a game called Postal 2.
Yes.
Now, Postal 2 was developed by a company called Running with Scissors and published by Whiptail Interactive. It was made for the PC and Mac and released in the US on April 13th, 2003. Now, Postal, I don't know if it has anything to do with maybe when Frank started working at the post office.
I think the game may be based on him. I'm not 100% sure.
It might be based on his real life. So if there's anybody to talk about this game, maybe it would be Frank. But anyway. And I'm going to talk mostly about the gameplay, because the gameplay in this game, the gameplay is just absolutely insane. So in Postal 2, the player takes on the role of the Postal Dude. That is his name. Postal Dude. He's a tall and thin red-haired man with a goatee and sunglasses and a black leather coat. Leather trench coat.
Oh, boy.
Right? Gotta wear the trench.
Yep.
And he has a T-shirt with a gray alien's face printed on it. Okay? So, Postal Dude lives in a trailer park in a small town in Arizona with his nagging wife, who he identifies in the credits as the bitch. That is what she goes by.
Oh, man.
Okay? And basically, the levels in the game are split into days of the week, starting with Monday and ending on Friday. And what happens is, at the beginning of each day, Postal Dude is given different tasks to accomplish. And they could be, they're seemingly boring things, like get milk or confess your sins.
Ooh.
And the object of the game is to finish your tasks.
Mm-hmm.
And throughout the week, as you play the game, you can accomplish the tasks in any way you want. You can do it peacefully if you want to, or you can do it as violently and chaotic as you want to. And if you complete most of the basically, if you complete the tasks without fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Basically. You can do them without fighting. You can do them with fighting, whatever it is. And the game's tagline is, remember, it's only as violent as you are. That's what the game is. So you have the choice. Do you want to be violent, or do you just want to, be good? And I think anybody who picks up this game, I think we all know what they want to do. I know what I would want to do if I picked up this game. Okay. So, and then there's the absurdity of some of the tasks. Now, we talked about simple ones like getting milk. There's one task where it's only activated when the postal dude urinates, in which the player is then tasked with getting treatment for gonorrhea after postal dude discovers he has an infection.
Oh, no. Poor postal dude.
Yeah, so postal dude also can urinate on himself in the game. I don't know why, but he can.
Oh, boy.
Okay. So, and as I said, the game is as violent as you make it. As you go through the game, Postal Dude actually has to put up with other characters who are trying to provoke him on a regular basis, and you get to decide whether you want to engage with them or not. So he's flipped off by people. He's mugged by people. He's attacked by different protesters. He's harassed in convenience stores. During the game, he encounters things from marching bands, the police department, the SWAT team, ATF agents, a murderous toy mascot named Crotchy, the National Guard, religious cults, cannibals.
So far of everything you've mentioned, the marching bands get on my nerves the most.
Okay, wait, I'm not done.
Oh, my God.
Al-Qaeda terrorists.
Wow, all right.
And former child actor Gary Coleman. So Gary Coleman, for those of you who don't know, he played Arnold on the sitcom Different Strokes back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Please tell me he actually voiced something.
Well, yeah, no. He voiced himself in the game.
That's what I meant. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
he needed
Gary
money.
Coleman actually makes a cameo and voices himself in the game. And one of the game's tasks is traveling to a local shopping mall to get Gary Coleman's autograph. And then what happens is, right, when you get to the autograph signing, you can choose to fight and kill Gary Coleman, or you can just have him sign the book after waiting in a long line.
Oh, please tell me you actually have to wait in real time.
I don't know. I would. It doesn't say, but I would assume it does.
That
so
would
then
be
it basically sit there, and it depends how pissed off you get on whether or not you want to kill Gary Coleman. And then just a nice little side note. Now, I said Gary Coleman's was on Different Strokes, right? But when Postal Dude meets Gary Coleman, he actually tells him that he liked him on the shows What's Happening and The Facts of Life. So, just poor Gary Coleman. May he rest in peace.
That is amazing. I have to get this game.
So, by the end of the week, which is Friday afternoon, that's when you get to the end of the week, right at the end of the game. In the final day of the game, now the apocalypse occurs, and society completely collapses. So, and naturally, what happens when the apocalypse occurs? Cats begin falling out of the sky.
Of course.
And everybody in town becomes heavily armed, and you engage in random gun battles pretty much in the streets. And then, as Postal Dude, what you do is you return home to your trailer. You get into an argument with your wife because she wants to know why you never picked up the ice cream she sent you out for in the beginning of the game.
Listen, a very valid point, I think.
And then the game ends with one gunshot being heard and you roll credits.
Really? Wow.
Postal 2.
Holy cow.
So, that's the gameplay itself. Now, as you might think, there was a little bit of controversy surrounding this game.
Teeny weeny.
Just that. So, in 2004... the Office of Film and Literature Classification in New Zealand banned the game, citing high levels of violent content and animal violence. The game to this day remains banned.
Really?
Yeah. And possession, distribution, or even buying it for personal use is considered illegal and a criminal offense, punishable by up to 10 years in prison in New Zealand.
Wow. And some people think we have it tough here. That is nuts.
Yeah. Oh, and a fine of $50,000, but I think the 10 years is a bit more severe.
I'll pay the $50,000. Well, that is nuts. Yeah. I thought New Zealand, I didn't think they'd be a country to do that. Okay.
Yeah. No, because they cited it, let's see, It was the second computer game to be banned in New Zealand after Manhunt. Manhunt was another game that was banned in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And they cited very clearly, they banned it for gross abhorrent content, including urination, high-impact violence, animal cruelty, homophobia, racial and ethnic stereotypes, etc.
Etc.
It was also banned in Australia in 2004 because of the absence of an 18-plus rating.
Oh.
In Sweden, the Attorney General took the Swedish distributor of the game to court and prosecuted him with illegal depiction of violence, which is a crime falling under the Swedish Freedom of Speech Act. The court, though, dismissed the case in 2006, but it was in court for like 2 years.
That's nuts.
Yeah, absolutely insane. On the heels of this, you'll also be happy to know that Postal 2 became Linux Game Publishing's fastest-selling game in the first month, and was the reason behind the profitability of their company.
Wow, really? Yeah. Holy cow!
Yeah. Now the game doesn't even stop there because the game actually sold well enough. The publisher or developer running with scissors released expansions for the game.
Oh, really? Like
so
a UPS and a FedEx expansion?
No.
Oh.
But you can download Postal 2 Share the Pain, which introduced a multiplayer mode. Postal 2 Apocalypse Weekend, which had new maps and missions.
Oh, cool.
Postal 2 Eternal Damnation, which had a new story mode. Postal 2 Paradise Lost, which introduced a new story mode where you went to go retrieve your dog because your dog goes missing.
Aw.
And by the way, Paradise Lost came out in 2013, so This thing's been going on for a while. My favorite expansion, though, is called Postal 2 Corkscrew Rules.
Uh-oh.
And what this expansion is, it's about a man named Corkscrew, a Russian man named Corkscrew, who wakes up to find that his penis has somehow been amputated and goes on a mission to find it.
What does it have to do with Postal?
I have no idea. But anyway. Now, I know all that glorious information is more than enough for you to handle. But for those of you who don't know, the first Postal game, because this one is called Postal 2, there was an original Postal game. And not only was there an original game based on the Postal series, there was also a movie that came out in 2007, adapted by the director Uwe Boll. But he used most of the elements from Postal 2 instead of the original Postal game. So if you go watch the movie, you'll see a lot of elements from the Postal 2 game, including the crotchy doll, the murderous crotchy doll, the trailer park, the convenience store, the terrorists, the cat silencer.
Ooh.
Gary Coleman, unfortunately, did not appear in the film.
No.
So instead, he was replaced by Vern Troyer from the Austin Powers movies. And Vern Troyer played the celebrity that he goes to get the autograph with.
Oh, my God. These little celebrities need money.
Yes. In 2013, Uwe Boll wanted to do a sequel, and he actually put the funding up on Kickstarter.
Oh, that's the Kickstarter that he flipped out on.
That's the Kickstarter that he flipped out on, and then it was eventually canceled. Yes. So we never got a sequel to the movie.
That was the best because I think literally no one contributed to the Kickstarter, and then he went on like YouTube and pretty much like, hey, to all my fans, go F yourselves.
Yes, that's exactly right. And hopefully since then he hasn't made a movie because all of his movies are terrible. So anyway.
But like I think he's got like one good one in the Name of the King. I think that's like the only halfway decent one he had. Yeah,
and even that one I don't think was that great.
No, but I'm saying of his movies.
Right. Well, I mean, that would be the Oscar contender of his films.
Absolutely. So to mention, I've never seen Postal the movie, but by God, I'm fully aware of the opening sequence. Right after the opening credits.
Yeah.
So how can I even explain this without people trying to people getting upset? So basically, it
choose your words carefully.
No, it's not even the words. It's not. Listen, it's not me. It's Uwe Boll and whoever wrote the movie. So it opens up in the cockpit of an airplane with two gentlemen talking back and forth. Clearly they are of Muslim descent. or no, not descent, Muslim religion, because they're talking about Allah and they're talking about getting the big guy on the phone, but it's like it's got like little quips of comedy in it, like, oh, let's get the big guy on the phone, and the other guy's like, no, obviously they're talking about Osama bin Laden, because then all of a sudden it's like a 3.5 minute opening, then all of a sudden people kick down the cockpit door, bum rush the cockpit, start to take over the controls, and then you cut to a window washer of the World Trade Center cleaning off bird poop, and right behind him is the airplane coming in hot. And then you see, and then just the screen explodes, and then Postal. So basically, the opening was 9/11.
Wow.
It's like,
is that the first one or the second one?
What, there's only one 9/11.
No, Postal.
Oh, no, it's only one movie. It's only one Postal movie.
Oh, you're talking about the movie.
I'm talking about no, not the game. No, I'm talking the movie.
Oh, God. Okay, that's awful.
Hey, well, I mean, and you just see, like, the window washer, like, he's trying to clean some poop, like, all the way up on top. You just see him, like, casually turn around, like, oh, this is gonna suck. And then, and then it just, I mean, to even contemplate, especially that close. When did the movie come out? 2007, you said?
2007.
2007. What, 6 years? I mean,
yeah.
Look, I mean, at any point, but still, I mean, Uwe Boll is a director way beyond his means. But the game itself, look, there's all different types of games out there. We've talked about Custer's Revenge, or as I like to call it, Westward Ho. So it's like you play the games you want to play, but Postal 2, whether it's a retro reject or a retro spotlight, because the movie's definitely a reject. But let us know on Facebook.com/RetroGamers how you feel, if you've ever played Postal or Postal 2. And yes, and I will try and get Frank's comments next time we record The Better Half, if he's ever even played or heard of this game.
Oh, I'm sure he's heard of it. I don't know if he's played it, but I think we owe it to ourselves. At least one of us needs to play this game.
Oh, absolutely.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it's available on Steam.
Oh, I'm sure it would be. I'm sure it's absolutely would be. Oh, you'd probably find it for cheap online as well anyway.
Yeah, but Postal 2, definitely, you guys let us know. Is it a spotlight? Is it a reject? I like to call it both. But that is this week's Retro Spotject.
Is there any more we can talk about with Postal 2?
Actually, there is, Larry, because Postal 2 is the topic of this week's Cheat of the Week.
Hot dog. All right, what do we got?
So for those of you out there who are now going to pick up Postal 2 based on our glorious spotlight/reject of it, and I know I'm one of them.
Thanks to us, sales are going to go through the roof now for Postal 2.
Yes, and then we're going to get, not only are we going to get a Postal 3, but Uwe Boll's going to come back with his Kickstarter campaign for the sequel, for the movie sequel. But anyway, this week's Cheat of the Week. The following, there are a number of codes you can put in for Postal 2 to get, to have special access to things, or, to alter the game, because it's a PC game. So I picked out 3 of my favorite codes that you can put in for Postal 2.
All right.
So if you put in Osama, the code Osama, all of the NPCs, non-playable characters in the game, will become religious fanatics. Okay? That's my first one.
Oh, man.
The second code you can put in is called Boppin' Cats. Poppincats. So if you put in this code, when your gun is shooting cats, the cats will ricochet.
Oh, no.
So Boppin' Cats.
Oh, man.
And then, by far, my favorite code for Postal 2, and this will be the first thing I do if I ever pick up this game. If you put in the code, what you talking about?
No!
If you put in the code, what you talking about?
No!
All the non-playable characters in the game turn into Gary Cole.
No, that is amazing! That is amazing!
So, those are my 3 favorite codes for Postal 2. There are a lot of other cheat codes online you can look up, and that is this week's Cheat of the Week.
All right, another whirlwind show. We're going to wind this one down, but we cannot go without mentioning, because coming up this Saturday in Brooklyn, Aviator's Retro Gaming Tournament and Expo, Saturday, February 17th, from 11 to 5 at Aviator Sports and Event Center in good old Brooklyn, New York, our home and native land.
I am very excited about this. I would be more excited if I was actually attending.
That's all right. It's understandable. Look, brother, you're over there on the West Coast. You're in L.A. Completely understandable. So don't worry. I'll be representing the show very well. And also, we're going to have to cover your spot. We will have a veteran here of the More of the Same Network, co-host of the Better Half podcast. He's actually been on this show before. Actually, he's subbed for you one time as well when you weren't able to make it. Frank Messina will be joining me at the Retro Gaming Tournament and Expo. So he'll be with us as we walk the floor, as I'm sure I'll be buying more games than he will. And
of course.
He'll just be walking around calling everyone nerds, probably. Me mostly. And when we do the podcast, he'll be on the podcast as well. It will be a live podcast. So tune in. I don't know at what time on Saturday, but the Retro Gamers will be broadcasting live. If we can, we'll somehow try and get Anthony on there. Maybe not.
The goal is the goal is you will get me on there. That is your task.
I got to figure out how for at least the live stream part of it. Definitely get you on the podcast part of it, because then we'll drop the podcast the following week, or at least portion of it.
Yeah, no. Definitely get me on the podcast part. If you can't get me on the live stream, I can totally understand that. But basically, if you use your phone to live stream, just put my face up on the computer on Skype.
Oh, like that?
And there I am.
Okay. We got to talk a little bit more.
And I'll just wait.
We'll have like that delay, like on the news channels. Like, I'll ask you a question. So, what do you think about the Expo? And like 10 seconds later, you finally answer it.
Yeah, and that'll be like, well, Larry, I think the Expo is really awesome.
Frank will be sitting there trying to figure out why is it taking him so long to talk. So this Saturday,
well, Larry, I don't know why it's taking me so long to talk.
So check it out. This Saturday, there'll be, besides buying games, selling games, trading games, there's going to be a lot of vendors there.
Yeah, I heard that one of the tournament events that's going to be taking place is a Virtual Boy kicking tournament. Is that correct?
You may have had a wrong source there, a missource.
No. I heard it very clearly. Like it's gonna be like punting a football, and you're gonna see how far you can get the Virtual Boy across the parking lot.
Pretty sure it may not be there. We'll check though. We'll check.
If Aviator is listening to us, I strongly recommend that you introduce this event into your tournament. It's very entertaining, and furthermore, it gets more Virtual Boys off of this planet.
Oh, ouch. There will be tournaments, though. There will be 6 tournaments there that day. NHL 94, NBA Jam, MLB Slugfest, NFL Blitz, WWF No Mercy, and recently just added Super Smash Bros. Melee. So check those out.
Larry, since I'm not going to be there, it is up to you to represent us in WWF No Mercy, and you have to win.
I may have to if there's still room. Those are 32-person tournaments.
Yeah, I don't care. Enter and win. All you have to do is, like, if the tournament is full, just take somebody out with a steel chair and take its place.
Hold on.
It works on TV.
Hold on. Was No Mercy the one that you every time you hit the analog stick, it was an automatic kick out?
No, I think that was WrestleMania 2000. It was a cheat.
All right. Oh well, we'll see what happens.
You do realize you said that on, like, live on our podcast.
But it drops later. So there will be silent auctions as well. Stanley autographs, Star Wars auction autographs, New York sports memorabilia, and a very cool silent auction. It's a signed Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. It's the game, an NES controller, and like a large screenshot of Tyson, and he signed it.
Oh wow, that's awesome!
Yeah, I may have to enter that one. Of course, we got
how broke are you gonna get?
We'll see what happens today as I'm going to Game On for their 3-year anniversary.
Oh yes, and you need to let me know if there are any cool sales so that I can also spend money through you.
There sure will be. So we will be represented, the Retro Gamers Podcast, some other table attendees. We'll give them some shout-outs. Team One Up 'em, Glossed Over, Brooklyn Comic Shop, Grandstand, Sports and Memorabilia, Kingdom of Bonome. I'm really sorry if I mispronounced that. Nerd Swap NYC, Gianni Raccontani. Again, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Prize sponsors, actually some recent friends of ours who've been, liking some stuff on the page. Bit Happens. They do a lot of cool stuff with perler beads as well.
Very
cool. It's not too late. You want to make sure buy your tickets early because the tickets are all going to be $5 extra at the door. Save yourself some money. You can find the link at our Facebook page. And if you click the link, if you buy the tickets through Eventbrite, and the link will be there, use code RetroGamersPod or the link from our page, because that will automatically give the 20% discount off of adult and tournament admission tickets. So it really brings it down. It brings like the adult ticket down to like $10, give or take. So it's really a great.
It's a great deal.
It is absolutely
a great deal,
and it shows them that we have some pizzazz to get some people to buy tickets. So that will help out as well.
Well, that'll help us.
Absolutely.
Well, it helps our listeners by getting a discount. It helps us by getting more favors from the aviators.
We at our table will actually have we'll have some systems set up. We'll have a game, small television set up. So if you want to play some games, maybe try out some games you just bought, swing on by, see what's available, and of course, if we're recording, which we should be at that point, more than happy to have you on the podcast.
Yes, so definitely if you're in the Brooklyn area or you are crazy and want to fly to the Brooklyn area, to check this out, go meet Larry and harass him about the Virtual Boy. Charlie, this means you.
Oh, no, if I see Charlie there. Oh, boy.
Yes.
Still own an HDMI cable.
Well, also, if Charlie does happen to show up, it's his job, since I won't be there, to stop you from purchasing a Virtual Boy. So...
I got news for you. I think this year, this Expo may be a little light on the pockets, so there may not be much of a worry there.
Fair enough. And then a couple of other quick announcements I wanted to make are, one, I will be attending WonderCon next month here in Anaheim.
Ooh.
So another nerdtastic convention.
Sweet.
So I'll be checking that out, and I feel like it's more comic books and TV movies than it is video games, but I think they cover video games as well, so I'll be checking that out. And I also can say that as of Tuesday when this episode drops, the Kickstarter campaign will be over, but I did purchase the NES Maker.
Nice.
From Kickstarter. Not the full kit, but just the software, so I will be checking that out, and at some point in the future... we'll be reviewing that here on the Retro Gamers.
Cannot wait.
Yes.
Speaking of which as well, if you want to wear, if you want to drink out of, if you want to put your phone into Retro Gamers merchandise, head over to teechip.com, teechip.com. Do a search for the Retro Gamers. Both Retro Gamers merch and I think the VB Sucks merch will come up at the same time.
So, sweet.
Yeah, so go... Please buy the merchandise because it's cool to have, cool to own. Not only that, you're helping us out. Trust me, like I said, we're not making millions off it, but it will certainly help offset the storage fees of the podcast, which can add up. But most importantly, you'll be wearing our stuff. And you know what? You're going to be promoting the show that you love to listen to, your favorite retro gaming podcast. Let's face it. Slowly climbing the charts.
What you said.
Very, very slowly. Climbing the charts.
Very, very slowly, but it's something we both love to do, and we're cool with that.
Absolutely. And otherwise, I think one more thing I'm going to plug real quick, which should drop. I think it's this Friday coming up. We actually did a nice little spot there on Victims and Villains, so check that out.
Did.
Their 100th episode. Congratulations.
Yes, congratulations, Josh. Excellent podcast. Definitely worth listening to.
We will on there. I guess that means Josh will be on our 100th episode when we get there.
Let's see if we survive to 100.
Well, listen, we're rapidly approaching. This is 79.
Yeah, no, I know. Let's see if we get to 100. For all you know, we may implode at 99.
Oh, that would be terrible. Can you only imagine? It'd be like Firefly. It just never ends.
Yeah, exactly. The 100th episode will be like our funeral.
It'll just never be. Everyone can speculate. There'll be books written about it and fan fiction and whatnots and everything.
Yes, in your mind.
Do you know Twilight fan fiction turned into 50 Shades of Grey?
Yes, I'm well aware of that.
Okay. With that being said, folks, thank you for joining us here at episode 79. Check us out everywhere. And you know where we are, right?
Yeah, we are at the www.theretrogamers.com. We are on Instagram at _retrogamers. And we are on Facebook at facebook.com/retrogamerspodcast. You can listen to us on Amazon Alexa, at Spreaker, and on, what's the other one?
iHeartRadio, YouTube.
iHeartRadio, sorry about that.
That's
And YouTube as well. We're all over the place, okay? This is just you can find us pretty easily.
Yeah.
If not, just stalk Larry on Facebook.
Absolutely. And you can listen to, and here's the weird thing, you can listen to the Retro Gamers on any podcast app you listen to, but for some reason, the better half, you can't find them, and I don't know why.
Well, I don't know. Maybe Frank's blocking you.
Frank's
or
very upset at that.
Yeah, well, he should be. Maybe he should go on the Yin and the Yang and protest.
Please don't even get me started on those two shows. All right, folks, with that, we're going to catch you next week right here on the Retro Gamers.